Some people avoid phone calls. They see their phone ringing, and instead of curiosity, they feel pressure. Their first instinct is not to answer. It's to pause, to breathe, to let it stop ringing. And psychology says this reaction is not random. Phone calls demand instant presence. The moment you answer, you are expected to be available. Emotionally, mentally, socially. There is no preparation time, no mental warm-up, no space to gather thoughts. For many people, that sudden demand feels intrusive. Text messages wait. Phone calls interrupt. This difference matters more than most people realize. Psychology shows that people vary in how they manage cognitive load. Some people think best while speaking. Others think best before speaking. Phone calls force thinking and speaking at the same time. For reflective people, this feels overwhelming. During a call, your brain is doing many things at once. You are listening, processing, meaning reading tone, choosing words, monitoring your own voice, reacting emotionally. That's a heavy mental task. Avoiding calls is often about conserving energy, not avoiding people. Another important factor is loss of control. In text, you control timing, you control wording, you control boundaries. In calls, control disappears. You cannot pause without explanation. You cannot rethink what you already said. You cannot step away quietly. For people who value emotional regulation, this feels unsafe. Phone calls expose more than words. They expose hesitation, fatigue, mood, stress. Some people don't want their inner state to be instantly visible, not because they're hiding something, but because they value privacy. There is also an unspoken pressure in phone calls to perform, to sound interested, to sound confident, to avoid awkward silence. Even casual calls can feel like evaluation. Texting removes that stage. Calls place you on it. Psychology links call avoidance to introverted processing styles. Introversion doesn't mean shyness. It means energy flows inward. Calls pull energy outward, quickly and intensely. Texts allow energy to move at a controlled pace. Many people who avoid calls are highly self-aware. They know when they are tired, overstimulated, emotionally full. Answering a call at the wrong moment can drain them for hours. So they choose silence over depletion. There is also boundary psychology involved. A phone call enters your personal mental space without warning. It assumes access. For people who value autonomy, that assumption feels uncomfortable. Texts ask, calls take. Modern life already demands constant responsiveness. Notifications, emails, deadlines, social updates. A ringing phone becomes one more demand in an already crowded mind. Avoidance becomes self-protection. Another misunderstood reason is emotional sensitivity. Some people pick up on tiny shifts in voice. They notice forced laughter, hidden tension, unspoken emotion. Phone calls amplify these signals. For sensitive individuals, even neutral conversations feel emotionally loud. Avoiding calls does not always mean anxiety. Sometimes it means emotional intelligence. These people know not every moment is right for connection. Not every conversation needs to happen now. There's also timing involved. Phone calls happen on the caller's schedule, not the receiver's. Texts respect timing. Calls override it. For people who live intentionally, that difference matters deeply. Psychology also shows that people who avoid calls often value depth over speed. They don't want small talk. They want meaningful exchange. Calls often rush conversation. Texts allow reflection. In today's world, communication has shifted. We live asynchronously. We think. We respond. We choose words. Phone calls belong to a faster era. Some people simply don't function there anymore. Avoiding phone calls doesn't mean someone is antisocial. Often, it means they care deeply about how connection feels. They want communication that respects energy, honors boundaries, and feels intentional. These individuals don't disappear. They respond. They care. They connect, just on their own terms. So when someone avoids a phone call, it doesn't mean rejection. It means awareness. Awareness of their limits, their energy, their inner space. And in a world that expects instant access, choosing how you communicate is a quiet psychological strength.